Hi, I'm Hillary Wynn, Custom Content Manager with Meister Media Worldwide, the publisher of CropLife Magazine. I'd like to welcome Dr. Artie McKim, a member of the senior leadership team for gChem. He is going to answer some questions about nitrogen stabilizers. But first, a little about Artie. He has been with gChem since 1999, working closely with the commercial team to identify new growth areas. These include new product development activities, as well as emerging applications for gChem's existing products. He also manages the quality and technical service teams. Artie, welcome.
Thank you, Howard. It's nice to talk to you today.
Artie, what role do nitrogen stabilizers play in enhancing the efficiency of nitrogen based fertilizers, and how does DMSO contribute to this process?
Oh, that is an important question. So nitrogen fertilizer is a pretty important cost input for farmers. Unfortunately, only about half the fertilizer that's applied to the field is actually available to the crop. Actually, makes it to the plant. And so nitrogen utilization can be maximized in many cases through the use of these additives of stabilized nitrogen fertilizer formulations. And there are two dominant types of these fertilizer additives. There are the urease inhibitors and the nitrification inhibitors. Urease inhibitors slow down the conversion of urea fertilizer to ammonia. So, ammonia is a very volatile form of nitrogen. And as it evaporates, valuable nitrogen is then lost to the environment. It's not available to the plant. And the most common additive in this category is a substance called NBPT or N-butyl thiophosphoric triamide. Nitrification inhibitors, on the other hand, help to protect the value of nitrogen fertilizers in a different way. They can prevent the conversion of ammonium cation to nitrate by soil bacteria, naturally occurring bacteria in the soil. And nitrogen in this form, in the form of nitrate, is easily lost, really just through by leaching into the soil and into groundwater. And this is really just because the nitrogen in this form, in its nitrate form, is more mobile in the environment, and therefore more of this nitrogen ends up in the groundwater, where it really doesn't do farmers any good. Dicyandiamide, or DCD, is a very common and inexpensive and I would say proven nitrification inhibitor. So then, to the role of DMSO in these products, DMSO plays an important role in both of them, both types of formulations. In the first case, it helps to stabilize NBPT in solution, and it increases the shelf life of NBPT-based urease inhibitors. Uh, with the other type of product, the nitrification inhibitors, DCD is just a hard substance to dissolve, really in any solvent for delivery in a liquid product. And it just turns out that the solubility of DCD is the highest in DMSO relative to common co-solvents, coformulants. And this gives the manufacturer of these nitrification inhibitor products the ability to load a lot of this active ingredient into a liquid formulation.
How does the inclusion of DMSO and nitrogen stabilizer formulations impact soil health and microbial activity over time?
Yeah, any solvent that you choose for a stabilized nitrogen fertilizer product first must do no harm. And DMSO has a very nice eco safety profile. It's not persistent in the environment. It's biodegradable in soil, natural water, and it isn't an aquatic toxin.
How is your company innovating in the development of next generation nitrogen stabilizers? And what role does DMSO play in those innovations?
GChem's played an important role in replacing hazardous solvents, so particularly solvents like in methylprodone or NMP, with DMSO in existing products. And we made important developmental contributions to the first DMSO-based formulations, which came to the market over 10 years ago. And we found that as regulatory pressure increases on NMP and other amide type solvents, that it's important to educate crop nutrition companies and the regulators on how the public can be protected when DMSO is used to reformulate these problematic products. We have an applications lab that can take a company's existing product and recommend a suitable DMSO based offset. And DMSO in a product like this can help with active loading, with shelf life of the product, and in some cases, even cost effectiveness.
How does DMSO influence the solubility and delivery of active ingredients in nitrogen stabilizer formulations?
It's an extremely effective solvent for a very broad range of crop protection and crop nutrition actives. And specifically in the stabilized fertilizer space, you can use DMSO to load substances again, like DCD, into a product more than you could with other accepted coformulants. And because it's compatible and in many cases completely soluble, miscible with other co-solvents, there's a lot of room for innovation.
What regulatory or environmental considerations should growers be aware of when using DMSO based nitrogen stabilizers?
Growers use these products. They use stabilized nitrogen fertilizer products to support the overall profitability of the farm. Nitrogen's pretty expensive, or can be, but it is critical to agricultural productivity. And stabilized fertilizer products are a proven way to protect the farmer's investment. There are secondary environmental benefits associated with these products. And when urease inhibitors like DCD are used to support crop nutrition, nitrogen runoff to groundwater and natural waterways is considerably reduced. And this can prevent the formation of harmful algal blooms, which is a type of nutrient pollution. There's also evidence that nitrification inhibitors like MBPT can reduce nitrous oxide emissions from agricultural soils. Nitrous oxide is a potent greenhouse gas with a long atmospheric half life. When a grower adopts a DMSO based product, they can be comfortable that they're realizing all the benefits that are associated with nitrogen stabilizer products and doing so in the safest possible way. And in the long term, the use of more hazardous solvents like NMP will be banned in a lot of different ways and across most geographies. Adoption of a DMSO based nitrogen stabilizer puts growers in the best position to manage upcoming regulatory change.
Where can more information about DMSOs, nitrogen stabilizers, and gChem be found?
You can certainly learn more from our company's website, www.gchemglobal.com. And of course, I'm available to answer any questions as needed. And my email address is amckim at gchemglobal.com.
Artie, thanks again for taking the time to talk with me today.
Of course, so thank you.